Hello, Murphy Daily, written by Murphy here, talking about a moment of wonder. And if you are watching live, I want you to let me know. Type a 1 in the comments so I can see you pop up. If you're watching the replay, put in a 2. Let me know what's happening. Let me know so I can engage with you. And thank you for being part of this moment of wonder. Now, I've been talking a lot about different books I'm reading, and I actually have a backlog of ideas to talk about for those books, but I've been talking all this week with my colleagues and certain people about the fact that our robot servants are not working as well as we expected them to. And when I say robot servants, I'm thinking like of the Jetsons and their maid and all their robot things that took care of their life. So in the future, as envisioned by, I don't know when the Jetsons were, the 60s, I think, they have the coolest jazz song intro, the most whiz-bang jazz intro for a cartoon. And the Jetsons were most amazing for all of their robot servants, Rosie, the maid, who is a robot that goes around and takes care of their life. And in many ways, we've achieved that already. This thing does amazing for me. It does all kinds of things for me, and I rely on this computer robot servant, this phone, this computer, the cars, all the things. You know, the car I had before this current car was a Honda Accord, and I was so happy that when I first got it, it would read the text out loud to me. The texts that I got on my phone, because it was Bluetooth to my phone and it would read the text. It was so cool. It also did this funny thing that made me laugh. If someone texted me okay, it would say Oklahoma in a computer voice, like Oklahoma. Oh, okay. So that was funny. But as soon as my phone went on a different version, the car stopped having that feature because the firmware in the car's text reading feature didn't match with the phone anymore. So it lost that really cool, useful feature. And that is kind of the thing that I'm talking about. I remember I was so excited years ago when iTunes let me listen to all kinds of new songs all the time. I can't get iTunes to download my songs anymore. I have to use a different software, Walter, W-A-L-T-R, to load music onto music and other MP3s, meditations, and anything else I want to listen to onto my phone, which is a super awesome phone. And that's not working right anymore. What? I can't even use iTunes for tunes anymore, really? I mean, it's kind of this interface that kind of works a little bit, but as a robot servant, it's really not fulfilling my needs. And these devices, not physical, they're software devices that are supposed to take care of all the things that I need done that software can do, aren't integrating with each other very well. For exactly the same reason that I just described unintentionally. I didn't realize it was going to be such a perfect example, that my Honda Accord can't interface with the cell phone text anymore. So I talked to my genius brother, my older brother, who's been a programmer for a long time. If you're listening, Brian, hi. And I said, what's up with the robot servants? Why do you think this is happening? Is there word on the street about what's going on? And his feedback was, back when we invented the internet, there were discipline and rigor in how people would create code. And yes, not all programmers had the same output level. Some were very good and some were less so, but people had a certain rigor and met a certain standard of output. Well, what happened is we made all these toys, made it super easy for people to interface and go make their own parts of the internet, and the internet exploded. I remember when it exploded. I remember when it was brand new. What was it? Mosaic, the first web browser, and which became Netscape and Yahoo and all the other things. That's not even a browser, but Internet Explorer, all the other things. And back when it was first made, it was small and only a few of us were on it. And then we released, the people who invented the internet released these tools so everyone could make it. And we got beyond MySpace and we have all these tools. My watch is on the internet. My phone is on the internet in a way that it couldn't be before. I remember how awkward it was to use a BlackBerry on the internet. But all these tools are now on the internet because it's been made easy. But when it was made easy, we lost the rigor so that it easily interfaced with each other. So the software that resides on all the hardware, which is known as firmware, isn't interfacing well with each other anymore. So things that used to be easy, although there was less of it, it worked better before. Now we have kind of these shaggy ends that aren't interfacing as well. And I think Apple has tried to create a universe where all the devices fit together well. So my Apple laptop fits well with my Apple phone, fits well with the Apple printer, fits well with the Apple TV, fits well with my iPad, and they are relatively seamless, although even that's getting a little shaggier. That's one universe where all the things are at least nominally overseen. But the Wild West of everything, different manufacturers trying to come up with, there are standards in my industry, audio video, we need to have, 4K and Bluetooth and things like this. But to meet the one standard of 4K means this, and the standard for USB-C, these standards shift, and the things that were compatible with one version of the standard don't necessarily meet the standard of the next level, and ones that are standardized to meet the level of the next don't necessarily backwards compatible. So we have this sort of jaggy, not very good connections. And then some people invent middleware to say, oh, it'll be between the two, but then it changes again. And our robot servants are having trouble keeping up. We haven't been producing quality robots. I don't exactly know an outcome like, oh, well, what's the wrap up of this? I guess the moral to the lesson of the story is it really is worthwhile. As much as I love wild freedom, there is value in keeping robust standards and keeping our output similar so that it is a platform we can build from. I'm sitting in a house, my house, made in 1950. That was 68 years ago. And it is a solid house. We've done a lot of work on this house. And it meets us, meets everything we ask it. We put a new roof on it, we redid the floors, we redid the kitchen, and we've had to, pieces upgrade. We needed to put in new plumbing, copper plumbing. We needed to reground the electrical. But this house, as a house, did a very good job of what it was asked to do. It was designed and implemented really well in the 50s. And it is a tight house. It doesn't leak everywhere. It is a solid house. It withstands earthquakes. And so it's a house that will carry into the future. We won't lose the effort that it took to make this house. We will regain and re-reap all of the investment that was made for that. So cutting corners has a cost. And it's okay to do your best and go forward and kind of bring it all together as best you can. But it's also important to make sure to do it right and land it so that you don't lose the effort and have to rework it. we would be better off if our robot servants were more reliable. I would like to be able to use iTunes again, but it's not very reliable for me. So that's my moment of wonder today, guys. Very nerdy, because I'm very nerdy, but that's what I'm thinking about. So let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are about the robot servants, or what you think we might do to get some better ones in the future. Hey, Shelva. Just as soon as I'm wrapping it up. Well, you can go back and catch it and let me know what you think. All right, I'm closing it off. Bye.